All right, guys, welcome back. BamaInsider.com YouTube channel. I'm Andrew Bone, recruiting analyst for BamaInsider.com. Big night on Saturday night for the Crimson Tide. Obviously, some not some positive news when Tua lost the Heisman Trophy to Kyler Murray. Certainly believe Tua should have won, but he'll be back next year, try to win it next year. Nick Saban obviously, did get some good news on Saturday night. Two humongous commitments. I mean, Dax Hill almost I would say out of left field, but we've kind of known that Alabama's still been in communication. Was I surprised when I saw the sudden flip last night? Yeah, absolutely. I was. Wasn't gonna be surprised. If some communication, some visits happened, but Alabama defensive backs coach Carl Scott, tremendous job. I mean, he was really known as a great recruiter before he came to Alabama, and he really delivered last night, getting Dax Hill to flip his commitment from Michigan to Alabama. I mean, huge commitment. I mean, top safety in the country, a guy that, can come in and play immediately, in my opinion. So obviously big commitment there. Carl Scott visited with him earlier in the week, kept that visit pretty quiet. And I think just a lot of the rumors with Harbaugh possibly returning to the NFL, even though Harbaugh's come out and said that he's staying at Michigan, I think that may have weighed in on him a little bit. I think that obviously Michigan's defense, giving up 62 points to Ohio State, and Alabama being just so consistent every single year on the defense side of the ball, no matter the turnover. I think that really helped him a lot as well. And we all thought that he was going to go to Alabama early on in the process. He visited Alabama during the summer. He went away from that trip with Alabama as the leader, but we also knew that was his first official visit. So he ended up taking some more visits. Took that visit to Michigan in September, and ended up committing to them instead of Alabama. But obviously, huge commitment for the Crimson Tide there in Dax Hill. I mean, I can't tell you how excited that the Alabama coaching staff is about that commitment. And then shortly after that, Scooby Carter, Jeffery Carter, 4-star defensive back out of Texas, been one of Alabama's top overall defensive back targets for a very long time. And we've talked about him. We talked about him a lot on Bama Insider during the spring and in the summer. We really thought that Alabama was going to pick his commitment up during the summer. He visited Tuscaloosa a few times, was in Alabama for the June camp, and we really thought that he was going to commit to Alabama in July when he had his scheduled announcement. Didn't happen. Ends up committing to Texas A&M, but Alabama stayed on him. He visited Tuscaloosa in November. I think it was for the Mississippi State game, and then was going to come back for the Iron Bowl. But Alabama was really hoping that he would, delay that trip, come in December, so that they could spend the entire weekend with him, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, instead of just spending half a day on Saturday and a little bit of time on Sunday morning with him. So they got a full weekend with him this weekend. And I know a lot of people said, Nick Saban flipped two kids while he was in New York. Carter committed to Nick Saban, before he left to go to New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Of course, Dax Hill was at home when he committed, but obviously big night there. A lot of people have been asking me, Bone, there's a big difference in the rankings, and different sites have Scooby Carter ranked so high, Rivals has him ranked so low, which 4-star isn't low. He's just not in the Rivals 250. A couple things behind that is, his ranking hasn't been updated really in a little while, and I think just because he hasn't been to a ton of camps, he's had some injuries. I think he's had 2 knee surgeries, throughout his high school career, and he actually injured his shoulder, which put him out for the year this year. So a couple of injuries, but I think Alabama will be fine there. I mean, when he's healthy, no doubt he's one of the best overall players at his position in the country. So, and plus he's one of Alabama's top overall targets. He was one of Alabama's top DB targets. So Alabama fans shouldn't be mad about the rankings at all. They should just be happy that Alabama got the guys that they want in Dax Hill and Jeffery Carter. A quick update on where things stand defensive back wise. A lot of people thought when Jeffrey Carter committed, I even thought it. I mean, it's not just Alabama fans. Even I thought this. When Jeffrey Carter committed to Alabama last night and Dax Hill committed, we all thought Alabama's done at the defensive back position. All right, time to focus on other positions. Not necessarily the case. I'm hearing that Alabama's still going after, some other defensive backs. They would still like to get one more guy on board. And, those guys that we keep talking about, Noah Pola Gates out of Arizona, Jordan Battle, who's committed to Ohio State from St. Thomas Aquinas, and also Marcus Banks out of Texas. Now, Marcus Banks, big time target for Texas A&M. So you can imagine that A&M is really going to put a lot of effort in, trying to get him on board with the loss of Jeffrey Carter. So, would not be surprised if we see Marcus Banks go to A&M, but he still likes Alabama. I think Alabama's in his top two. But as I've been telling on Bama Insider, I posted this on Twitter just the other day, I guess last night. I said, if you want to make a commitment to Alabama, it's time to go ahead and get on board because, the train's rolling out. There's not a lot of spots left, and it's really tight right now. So if these guys are going to commit, better go ahead and do it. But in terms of defensive back wise, one more guy, and it's going to be one of those three guys. And it's not like they're saying we've got to get one more overall guy. One of those three guys wants to commit, they'll take one of those guys. They won't take, some random other defensive back. Those are the three guys. That's it. Official visits are finishing up right now. Guys tend to get out of there around 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we'll try to keep up with all that stuff. I'm going to have interviews on BamaInsider.com with a lot of these guys that took official visits. So if you want to read the interviews on Bama Insider from all the official visitors this weekend, sign up. I'm sure some of you guys are already subscribers, so be on there. Alabama's going to have some in-home visits today. They're going to hit the road again. Big week coming up. Clay Webb announcing his college commitment on Monday morning, 10 a.m., Alabama or Georgia. Here a lot of people are saying, oh, I'm hearing good things about Alabama. Well, Georgia's hearing good things about Georgia too. I mean, it is tight, guys. I mean, it is. Both schools are feeling pretty good about them. So, that's always interesting. Which means he hasn't told either staff, or maybe he's told both staffs what they want to hear. So we just have to wait and see what happens. I'll make a final prediction on him later on this evening on BamaInsider.com. So be sure to check that out. And then we'll also have an update on all the in-home visits that are coming up. We know Kayvon Thibodeau is making a decision later on this week on December the 15th. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'll take a few questions. I know you guys want to get back and watch the Alabama-Arizona basketball game. Alabama's looking good. So let's talk about some of these questions real quick. Yep. Are we done with the secondary? Like I said, not yet. Still trying to get one more. UGA feeling very confident on Webb. Hope they're wrong. Like I said, it's very interesting. Hill enrolling early. No, I don't think Dax Hill is enrolling early. I think he plans on signing on December the 19th, but I think his plan was to always enroll in June. And he told me that back during the summer. Let's see. Do we feel good about Kayvon Thibodeau after the in-home visit? I think Alabama does, and especially the recruiting momentum that they have right now. The in-home visit was great with Nick Saban last week. He did take an official to Florida this weekend. So we'll see how he reacts after that trip. But in my opinion, I think Alabama's in the driver's seat. But he still has some big in-home visits coming up, this week. All right. There's a lot of comments, guys. Sorry. Waiting on these questions. All right, Percy. How do I feel about the D-line class? I feel great about Alabama's D-line class. I think it's exceptional. It's very special. Antonio Alfano just moved up to 5 stars on Rivals. Great overall player. Going to enroll early. Got a chance to be a big-time player in Tuscaloosa. Byron Young, 4-star D lineman from Mississippi, tremendous player. He was in Tuscaloosa this weekend on an official visit. Obviously you got some other guys that are really good as well. Braylon Ingram, Justin Ebojabe, DJ Dell, a lot of really good players. I think Alabama can possibly add one or two more guys. How many does Alabama sign? God, that's the $1 million question right now. Obviously everybody thinks, they're at 24 right now. They can only take maybe one or two more guys, maybe three. We'll see how it all shapes out. I mean, I tell our guys on BamaInsider.com every single day, do not worry about the numbers. Just let it play out. It always does. It always works itself out. In the end, these are the guys to focus on. Alabama's going after these select guys. They're trying to sign them. So, don't overthink things. When they get a commitment from this guy or that guy, it doesn't mean they're taking this guy's spot or that guy's spot. Just let it all play out. These certain guys are still key targets for Alabama. So if you want to know the key targets, go to BamaInsider.com. Anything on Jaquez Sorrells? Not lately. I think he plans on visiting Alabama in January. But like I said, it's going to be tough for a lot of these kids, especially the ones who are waiting until January, February to make a decision. These kids may not have a spot when all is said and done, because a lot can happen this week over the course of the next 10 days leading up until December the 19th, with a lot of these kids making commitments. So between now and then, we may see Alabama spots in the class really dwindle, and they may only hold one or two more spots, for February signing class. Anything on DJ Williams from the weekend? Not yet. Still on campus. We'll try to get an interview with him after the visit. Hadn't heard anything about an offer, but as I've kind of said for a while, a lot of these running backs are backup options right now until Trey Sanders makes a decision. A lot of these running backs are backup offers. Someone asked about Siaki Ikea. As I've mentioned, a lot of people have been blowing him up as this key Alabama target. I don't know why they have. He's kind of down Alabama's recruiting board. Alabama's got some other big time players that they've been going after for a long time on the defensive line that they're trying to sign. So I cannot imagine him being in this class. Any word on Nakobe Dean at inside linebacker? This is going to be probably one of our last questions here. It's an Alabama-Georgia battle. He took an LSU official this weekend. I would be surprised if he ended up at LSU, but I think it's Alabama or Georgia, and I believe Nick Saban is actually going to do an in-home visit this evening. So want to know more about that, go to Bama Insider. All right, guys, let you guys get back to the Alabama Arizona basketball game. This was just going to be a quick little update here on the big weekend that Alabama had, especially last night with Dax Hill and Jeffrey Carter jumping on board. So big night for Alabama. Could be a big couple weeks for the Crimson Tide. Be sure to stay tuned to BamaInsider.com. And if you're not a member of BamaInsider.com, sign up. Come on there, join a great Alabama fan community. I'm on there every single day answering questions, talking to our subscribers. Heck, right now you get $99 in team gear if you just sign up for an annual membership. So check us out over there. We'll see you later. Bye.